Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day. And first, I want to thank my friends from Franklin County Sheriff Department. They sent me this cool shirt. Now, a little side note is my staff at the office opened this package, and I'm not sure if there was a note or a letter in there. Since I got this, I've instructed them to hold all that so I can read it if there's a note with it. So I know there is a lot of Franklin County Sheriff Departments across the country, so I don't really know exactly which one it is that sent the shirt, but thank you very much. From GCI Turf, my family, and I would say on behalf of my followers or other folks around the country, and we really do appreciate you, what you do day in and day out, and the way you serve and protect the people in your area. We respect that, and we thank you for that. Now, if you're involved with law enforcement in one way or the other, and if you want to send a t-shirt in, I wear XXX or XXX, and I'll put the address down in the description. You can send it in, and throughout the whole year, I want enough shirts for every video I do, and I'm going to make lots of videos, so I need lots of shirts. So send me a shirt, and we'll wear it and talk about how proud we are of you. So we're back doing round number 2 with the Super Juice stuff, and it's a new fertilizer on the market. Today is April the 7th, 2019. We made the first application March the 19th of 2019. So what is that, 3 weeks-ish or so? And I wanted to do it the 2 weeks, but on the second week, I was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the entire week for my son's surgery. So of course, I was there, so I couldn't be here to do that. So it got pushed back about a week. And because of that, if in any way, shape, or form I discredit the product or don't give the product a full chance to do what it's supposed to do, I take 100% full responsibility, and that I didn't do it correctly or on the right timing, and if it doesn't get the results that you might think it would get, or you've already used it and you see, I'll be at blame for that simply because I was away and couldn't help it. So that is what it is. Let's move on. So after the first video where we applied it, of course I read every last comment several times to kind of soak in what your thoughts all were, and a lot of you were talking about foliar feeding and spoon feeding and that kind of thing, and yeah, I'm well aware of that. I've been foliar feeding, spoon feeding, supplemental feeding for years. I know quite a bit about it, so I know exactly how the product is supposed to be used. The application, I know that some folks said it was supposed to be applied with a hose end sprayer. I'll just be honest with you, I don't have that kind of time. That takes a considerable amount of time to do all that extra mixing and stuff. So based off my experience of spoon feeding, foliar feeding for years, products like this, Miracle Grow products, Green County products, you name it, fertilizer products for turf, in a big ball of general discussion, foliar application is when it's applied to the foliage and taken up by the foliage. Spoon feeding is when you give the plant or the turf micro doses or smaller than normal doses, and a normal dose feeding in cool season turf would be anywhere from a half pound of nitrogen per 1,000 to a full pound of nitrogen per 1,000, even down to a quarter pound per 1,000. You know, this, I haven't done the math on it, but it's probably more like 1/10 of a pound, or maybe a little less than 1/10 of a pound, with no more than we're putting out. So I totally completely understand spoon feeding and foliar feeding. Supplemental meaning, let's say I go out and apply a half pound, full pound, or whatever of a fertilizer to a yard, and that's kind of like the main food. That's kind of like me going on my Blackstone and cooking a fillet, and that would be my main course of my meal, my meat, my stuff that gives me muscle and really boosts me up. And then if I had a little side of potatoes over here, that would kind of maybe be my supplemental food for that meal, or carrots or rice or whatever I had over here on the side. That kind of just builds upon my normal feeding. So it can be used as a supplemental feeding. Now, I'm not at all feeding the main portion to this guy's yard over here. Okay, when I test products out, I'm not looking to see how they work with something else. I look to see how they work by themselves. Even if the product has instructions to say use it with this or use it with this along with that or whatever, I don't care. I can do any product and do it that way. I don't care about how it works with it, because typically when you supply a yard with the correct NPK, then you come back supplemental feed it, you're not going to see a lot of change as far as color, growth, and all that kind of thing goes. You might prolong that feeding by doing the extra supplemental feeding during that course of the time span to where the main feeding took place, and that main feeding lasts. You know, you put fertilizer down, it doesn't last forever, right? It lasts a certain amount of time, and you may extend that time period a little bit by supplemental spoon feeding, foliar feeding throughout that period of time. But I could care less about that. I know how they work with that. Of course it's going to work. I wanted to see how it works by itself. Just like when I test the Carbon X, just like when I test the hybrids, just like when I test this one or that one or this one or that one. So I've been doing it for years and years. So that's my way of testing things. Okay, I want to see how it works on its own. I already know how it's going to work with something else. I've seen it a million times. Alright, so let's go over and check it out now. If you remember the last video, you can obviously see a color change. Okay, I've been watching it. Now I did miss the yard for those 7 days I was gone, so I didn't get to see or record any of the progress, but it took about 7 to 8 days roughly for the color change to actually begin to happen. We got a couple, actually the night I applied that first application, it rained, so it got watered in really well. Color, and also, you know, of course we're in spring and the ground's warming up, biology's getting to going in the ground, so some of that's going to be a little bit of natural color change. But do I feel like the juice fertilizer had anything to do with the color change? Well, absolutely I do. We gave it a food source. Okay, now did I get that pop of color and that thickness? You know when you apply maybe like a full pound of nitrogen or half pound of nitrogen or something like that, and you get it watered in, and you know what I'm talking about. The grass just kind of really tightens up and thickens up and changes colors pretty rapidly. No, we didn't, simply because there's probably not enough of that NPK in that rate that I'm applying to do that. I do need to get over here and do a little weed control. What are my initial thoughts after the first application? Well, I got a color response. Did the turf get much thicker or anything like that? No, I haven't seen any thickness or change or anything like that. On that note, the gentleman has not mowed it still yet. Of course, when he starts mowing it, and these applications are going down every 2 to 3 weeks, of course it's going to thicken up then, obviously. But with the fertilizer itself, no real change in the thickness, but we did get a color change. Alright, so there you go. Like, subscribe, tell all your buddies, and we will definitely continue this with the juice fertilizer every 2 to 3 weeks roughly, and I'll continue to make videos on every one. At the end of the video, I'm going to throw up kind of some screenshots of I think it was about the first week, and kind of I'll label it on the video, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll kind of see like the progress. And of course, I apologize, I was out of town, so I wasn't able to get pictures during those 7 days. My focus was on my son, but I'm back for a while now, so we'll keep a good eye. So be sure to subscribe so that you can follow me on this, and we'll see what happens. Check you later. So hey, I forgot to mention this. In no way, shape, form, or fashion am I associated with this product, or do I discredit the product, okay? I'm simply looking at it, using it, seeing what it does as a standalone product, see what it does by itself. In no way, shape, or form will I bash this product, because I got a couple of emails from some folks saying, hey, I'm glad you're doing that video. I hope you show what it is. And I kind of read into it as, let's kick the guy's tail with it. And it's just not gonna happen, okay? My life is to glorify the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And I will not, in any way, shape, or form, discredit this man or his product, and I will not bash him in front of this camera. Check you later.